This is a Fleetwood Heritage 640 ES. It's going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake will take you through in person here on site, and I'll also explain the ATC. In the front of the caravan you have your gas regulator with your gas pipe work coming down to the bottle. The pipe work that goes into the bottle is a reverse thread fitment. And on top of the gas bottle you have your on and off valve for the gas supply. So open is on essentially and closed is off. In the front locker you also find your leg winder for the caravan. On the front right hand side of the caravan we have our battery locker with your quick release terminals on top, so you can disconnect the battery if should you ever need to. And then you've got your mains power lead coming to the side of the van also for your power on site into the van. Behind the lid for the battery locker you'll actually find your leg winder. That is there for stabilising the caravan, not lifting the caravan. It is just a case of winding the legs up and down to stabilise it. And like I said, if you ever lift the caravan with the legs, it can actually potentially damage the floor of the van. On the right hand side of the caravan, you have your Aldi heating and hot water flow. You don't ever cover this up, you leave it open at all times. And then you've got your water pump connection on the side of the caravan, which is very simple. You pull it out and push it into the side of the van, and you lock it into place with the cap. The motor mover will demonstrate while you're here on site, and will also torque the units to the correct settings so you can see they've been tightened correctly. Next up we have the toilet flush tanks. You'll open it up with the key, and in here you'll put 3.5 litres of water and a cap full of the pink fluid, and that will act as your flush. In the bottom here we have your toilet waste cassette. You release it from the side of the caravan by pulling the yellow handle and pulling the cassette towards you. The neck turns out so you can tip the waste away, and the cap here is a measure for your blue fluid to go into the cassette. You'll put 1 litre of water in here and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. On the back of the cassette you've got a yellow pressure relief button for when you're tipping the waste away to spit and splatter back at you. So down the bottom you've got your waste pipes. You have 2 bits of grey pipe that go into these larger diameter fittings, and they'll drop down inside your waste master. Coming to the back of the caravan on either side you've got your wind down legs again to stabilise the caravan, and like I said before, they are only there for stabilising, not lifting the van. Coming down the door side of the caravan, behind the door itself you've actually got your fridge vents. You'd need to take these off. You'd put a coin in, for instance, turn these clips and these will come out. You need to remove but this one and the one at the top prior to using the fridge. Down the front you've got a storage locker, front seating, and you've got a barbecue gas point. Going inside the caravan now, I'm going to demonstrate how the systems work on board the van. The control panel straight in front of the door. The bottom one is your main power switch for the caravan. So you've got on, so it'll turn off in a second. Or should do, press and hold, sorry. There we go, press and hold the power button for it to turn off. And you press the power button for the control panel to come on. In here, you'll see you've got some different options going through. I'll take you through the main ones here on site, or in the video should I say. You also got your battery level in here as well, so you come through battery just there, and then your discharge, battery discharge. Obviously it will use power as the lighting's on. External temperature, onboard water level for the onboard water storage tank, and that's just your levels in there for the water system. Water pump off, I'll come back to that in a moment. Clock set, alarm clock, sound level for the screen, tank fill, I'll come back to this in a moment. Water alarm, so basically you can set an alarm to say when the water's low. We normally leave that turned on. And then you've got your time, date, etc. on the control panel as well. So the first thing you're going to do with the caravan, once you've got it set up and the power turned on that control panel, you're going to pull the taps around above the sink, and you're going to open all the taps on the hot side of the water system. Once they're all open on the hot side of the water system, we'll be able to fill the water system up on board the caravan. Now we've got the water connected on the outside, as you've already seen. You're going to come underneath the seat on the right hand side of the van, and you're going to make sure the yellow valve in the back of this cupboard here is parallel with the floor so you can fill the water system up. If that valve is upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, it would drain all of the water system down, and all the water would come straight back out the bottom of the van. So you need it parallel with the floor to fill the water system up. The tank here is your onboard water storage tank, and I'll explain how to fill that also. But like I said, all taps open on the hot side. You're then going to come in the control panel just on the wall here. You're going to use the arrow to come across to your water pump, and you're going to press the button in the centre here to turn the water pump on. What you'll see is when the water pressure builds up, you'll notice water starts running out of every tap on continuously on board the caravan. So the pressure is now starting to build up and the water is running continuously. At that point, you can turn all the taps back off on board the caravan, because the water system is full, and you can start heating the water on board the van. So like I said, you'd make sure to turn the water pump on, and that will fill directly from your, or that will fill your onboard hot water tank direct from your aqua roll on the outside of the caravan. To fill your onboard water storage tank, you'd need to come across to where it says tank fill. You'd press the middle button again, and that would start filling the onboard water tank. We're not going to fill that in the moment because it takes about 45 minutes to fill it, probably, or 25 minutes or so to fill it from the outside water supply. But if you want to fill the onboard water tank, you'd press the on button, like I said, or the power button at the bottom here, and that would allow the water system to fill the onboard water tank. However, like I said, most people will just run it from the hot water tank and directly from the aqua roll on the outside. Once you've got that water system filled, you can actually start warming the water in the tank on board the caravan. So you've got store or reset here to go into the control panel for your heating and hot water. The heating and hot water control panel is turned on, so we're going to come across to the right, and we're going to select the room temperature. So you've got plus or minus for your room temperature, just here. I'm just going to leave it at 5 because it's a bit of a warm day today. Come across to the right, and you've got the option for your hot water. You've got hot water on and hot water off, depending on where you want the water temperature to be. If you want the hot water to be off, you'll set it to off, and if you want it on, you'll set it to on. If we come across to the right, you've got your option to run gas for your heating and hot water. So you've got hot water, so you've got gas off and gas on, depending on what you want to run it as your power source to your heating and hot water systems. If I come across to the right again, I've got the option for mains power coming into the caravan off. 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt is the power sources you have available. So gas on or gas off. And like I said, 1 or 2 kilowatts of power coming into the caravan. So it will depend on what site you're on to how you set this. You need it on in the top left hand corner, because you can actually turn it on or off just here. You'll also need to make sure the 2 switches down here are both turned on as well. They're basically controls for your heating and hot water system. And then, like I said, you'd control your heating and hot water through this control panel on the wall, which I've just been through and showed you how that works. Next thing we go to is the fridge. The fridge is very easy to use. You've got the option to run gas. It will self-ignite on gas as long as the gas is turned on. You can then control the temperature of the fridge on this dial on the right hand side. This light will go green when the fridge has ignited on gas. You've got your 240 volt supply for your mains fridge power, and you can control the temperature again on this dial on the right hand side. If you're towing down the road and you want to use the fridge as a cool box to get the beers and wine nice and cold, you can actually select the battery mode just here. But that would only operate from the battery on the car you're towing with, not the battery on board the caravan. You have a lock for the fridge here, so you can actually lock the fridge when it's turned on, and you have the option to control the freezer temperature at the top by pressing this button in, and you control the temperature of the freezer on top. So like I said, the button here will control the freezer temperature. If you turn that on, and the red light's on, then you control the freezer temperature on this side. Microwave works the same as your household microwave, no difference at all there. Hob, grill and oven, again, all work like your household appliances with your igniter on the front. The only thing to remember is that the electric ring at the back here will only work if you're connected to mains power. In the toilet area, the toilet is very easy to use. Electric flush on the toilet, full indicator light to let you know when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat turns for your convenience, as you can see here. However, when you're removing the cassette from underneath the van to empty it, you need to make sure the toilet seat is back in this position. Same with the waste handle on the side of the toilet. The toilet waste handle needs to be completely open for the waste to go in the cassette underneath the van. If it's closed off, then you'll be able to remove the cassette from underneath. So this is a Fleetwood Heritage. If you have any further questions on the van, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate the business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect your caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.